Question: what the heck is going on with the Tampa Bay real estate market? Answers right here. Stay tuned. I'm Sean Reddy of the Keller Williams Reddy Group. Each and every month, we break down the 9 key drivers, the vital signs, if you will, of the real estate market here in Tampa Bay. Look at it month over month as well as year over year, and we'll break it down with some graphs too for my visual people. So the key here is if you plan on interacting with the market in any capacity, whether it's to sell a home, you're going to buy a home, or you're going to sell a home to buy another home, then you want to pay attention because these will help you with any, maybe timing questions that you might have and how to take advantage of today's market conditions. So let's start with a month over month view on the Tampa Bay market. So caveat here, when I say Tampa Bay, I'm talking Hillsborough and Pinellas counties only, all property types, all price points. So single family homes, townhomes, condos, all inclusive here. Now, you're probably looking at the color coding. If the number is shaded in red, it is moving towards buyers market friendliness. If it's shaded in green, it moved in favor of sellers. So let's get into it. Biggest movers of the month of July are days on market. Both average and median days on market up pretty sizably. This measures across all the homes that went under contract in July. Median days on market, it's up 7 days, but that is good for a 17.5% increase. Average days on market up 12 days, good for a 19% increase. So homes are taking longer to sell. Now next we have a couple of greenies here, trends moving in favor of sellers. Now I'm not saying it's a buyer's market or seller's market. These are just individual trends that lean that direction. Now, new listings are down for the 4th straight month. Last month, 4,161 homes came to market. And available inventory down for the 2nd straight month, just a shade over 15,000 between Hillsborough and Pinellas counties. Falling also were the rest of the metrics. In fact, purchase contracts down about 0.5%, closed sales down 5.6% month over month. Average and median price both down about 2.5% month over month. Now, the caveat here is this only measures the homes that closed in that month, what those average and median prices look like. So it's not like, values fluctuate that much across the board, but we'll talk about that when we get into what that looks like year over year. Also down, the leverage ratio, I call it. This is the median sold price to final list price ratio. That fell by 1.3% in fact. It's down about 2.5% over the last couple months, second straight drop. That means that buyers are negotiating stronger deals off the last asking price of the homes that they closed on. So there's the month over month. Let's take a look at year over year too. So same thing, lots of red here, lots of trends moving in favor of buyers. No surprise if you've been paying attention to the real estate market. But some of these big movers are fairly large. So available homes, I'm going to start there. That's the driving story, is the large amount of inventory that's sitting on the market compared to last year and especially years prior, going back into the COVID market. So there's about 25%, 24.1% more inventory as of August 1st this year than there was same time last year. Homes are taking a significantly longer amount of time to sell. In fact, 38% longer measured by median days on market, and 23.5% measured by average days on market. Obviously, that's red. That favors buyers. Buyers have more time to think, act, and the longer a home sits, the less leverage a seller has. No secret there. Check it out though, new listings moved into the green year over year, falling by 10.1%. So there is, if you're watching the high levels of inventory, there is potential for change in that arena as new listings continue to trend downward month over month and now 10% year over year. Purchase contracts and closed sales both fell. Contracts by 3.3%, closed sales by 7.5%. And check this out. Yes, the average and median price down again year over year. So that is more indicative of overall values when we're talking a year over year trend line. So average price down almost 3%, median price down 1%. Now, Interestingly enough, that leverage ratio that I talked about is up a little bit year over year. So while buyers are negotiating better deals this month, or I should say last month, not quite as saucy as the ones negotiated a year ago in July of 2024. Probably part of that reason is going to be that sellers are, coming to grips with what this market really looks like and are more prepared to adjust their asking price accordingly. Now, what does this look like for my visual people? Now, I got 5 or 6 graphs here to kind of breeze through, and this is going to show, I started doing this right around the time the interest rate increases in 2022 started really affecting the real estate market, so we can get a longer term perspective. We're looking at 3 years exact of almost to the day of data here. So the first one here is average and median days on market, how it's behaved every single month, graphed on a trend line. Obviously the trajectory is up. The median days on market kind of sit in a holding pattern, kind of same number-ish over the last year or so, around 35 to 40, with that spike in October of last year when storms came through. Same thing on the average days on market. Overall trajectory up, but there is kind of some, maybe flattening out a little bit that's happening. We'll see. Big jump obviously last month, so we'll see how that shakes out next month. Now, this one's the most interesting to me. This measures 3 of the aforementioned vital signs. We have new listings in the blue, available homes in the red, and new contracts in the yellow. Now, you look at the blue and the yellow. Yeah, there's some peaks and valleys there, but long term, it's relatively flat. However, look at the available homes, climbing, up until, what was that peak? May of this year, April, May, whenever that is, hard to see. I guess May. And then it's dropped for 2 consecutive months. So might we have peaked in inventory in Tampa Bay, at least in this kind of shorter term view? Maybe, we'll see. Less listings coming to market is starting to bring that number down. We're not seeing more contracts absorbing that inventory. So there's still a wide gap between the red and the yellow lines, which, to some makes the market feel as though it's incredibly soft. But if you trace this yellow line back, number of contracts each month, it's not that far off from numbers in 22 and 23, really, when you look at it. It's just the inventory has grown because you have a lot of unrealistic sellers out there who have listing prices attached to their homes that will never cause that home to sell. So those homes are going to sit. New listings, they come to the market. Some of those sell. Some of those become those stale red listings. But that gap between the red and the yellow is what really drives values when buyers have a whole heck of a lot more to choose from than if you go back to when that was the tightest back in April of 2023. Okay, moving on. Closed sales, ups, downs, general trend, of course, downward. And we've probably peaked out in closed sales for the year of 2025. And we'll continue to watch how that trends. Average and median price, average in the blue, median in the red. Now, no real long-standing trend lines here. There's definitely some peaks and valleys, especially when you look at average price versus median, but it's pretty flat overall over the last 3 years. So not much in terms of price appreciation, not a big drop in price depreciation, overall values in Tampa Bay. Lastly, median sold price to list price, kind of bouncing all over the place between low end 96.5, 96.2, I guess, high end 100%. But the main, that's the main range there, is that kind of 3 to 4% range off the last asking price. So there you have it. How do you take advantage of these trends? Well, whether you're buying a home or selling a home or doing both at the same time, best bet, these are macro level market stats, right? 2 counties, 15,000 properties we're talking about. So every market's going to behave a little bit differently. That you have to understand. Your best bet is to get with an agent who understands this at a micro level in the neighborhoods that you're targeting or selling in, and make sure to, essentially take these stats and play them to your advantage, right? And if you don't have that agent, we would love to be a resource for you. If you do, call them up and say, hey, what can you tell me about the stats in my neighborhood? Now, last thing before I let you go, we put this on every single month, but we also do a weekly snap as well. So if you want to check that out, or if you want something that's more specific to your street, your neighborhood, your town, let us know. Drop a comment. Happy to make that for you as well. We have all the numbers. It's just a matter of putting the talk track together. And I kind of, as you can tell, just kind of freeform this and just have a conversation based on the numbers. Want to do that as well? Hit me up. Again, Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Ready Group. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next month.